Week 6 of the NFL season is here, and so are my 3 favorite picks. It's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Today, I'm going to talk about my favorite spread pick. We have an over-under, then we have a same-game parlay / teaser that we're going to talk about, my 3 favorite picks, plus 2 extra leans that I really do like at the end of the video. If you are new, like I said, my name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. We do a ton of NFL videos every single week, and we have more of them if you haven't checked them out. Maybe you're watching this on Sunday morning. We have plenty of other videos to go check out, so just go to our channel after this one, or just stay around. I'll link them at the end of the video on the screen. But let's talk about Thursday Night Football. Although I don't want to. It was an 0-2 day. We had the Broncos plus 10.5. They lose by 11. They had plenty of chances to cover that. And then we had Jerry Jeudy 40 plus receiving yards and Isaiah Pacheco 50 plus. Pacheco sweat free. Jerry Jeudy, yeah, you got chirped in the pregame by Steve Smith Sr., and you did absolutely nothing. Just Broncos offense could not get anything going. I will not be touching any more Broncos games, whether I'm fading them or I'm definitely not backing them. I'm just not doing it. I know it's been a bad start to the NFL season. We always bounce back after cold spells. We've done it all year long. We've done it in the past couple seasons of other sports. We're going to do it in the NFL. This is going to be a great season. I'm turning it around, speaking it into existence. Let's start off with 3 winners on Sunday, plus some other player props, which we will have in other videos. Let's dominate. You came here for winners. I got 3 winners plus a couple leans. Let's dive into the first one. We're going to Jacksonville. Well, I'm back in the road team, the Indianapolis Colts, plus 4.5. It's currently minus 120 on FanDuel. If you want to take it at 4, go for it. I don't see the line going to 3.5, but it could. I really do think this is a game that the Colts win outright or lose by a field goal or less. And we could lose by 4 here too and cash as well. But look, at the end of the day, I like the Colts in the road spot here as we see a Jaguars team that is returning back home, if you will. Technically, their last 2 games did count as home games, but like I said, they're returning back home from London. Now, the London Jags are serious. They went 2-0. They beat the Falcons 23-7, and then an impressive 25-20 win against the Buffalo Bills. They return home. They didn't take a week off like most teams do and get their bye week. They didn't do that. This will be just the 11th time in NFL history where a team has gone over to Europe, then returned and did not take their bye week. So we'll see how that plays into this one. But we have seen the Jags, they haven't necessarily been the best home team in history. And this will be the second time these 2 teams have actually played. And in the first matchup in week 1, the Jags beat the Colts 31-21. They covered this number, and the Colts actually probably should have covered. They were leading by 4, with just 6 minutes left. Then you saw the Colts or the Jaguars take a 3-point lead, and then I believe the Colts turned it over. Jags scored again within a minute, and they were up by 10, and that's all she wrote, and they ended up losing that one. But you saw everything could have gone wrong, did go wrong for the Colts. Not only did they turn the ball over 3 times, they went 2 for 12 on 3rd down, averaged 2.5 yards per carry on 26 rush attempts. That was Anthony Richardson's first ever NFL start. We know a lot of NFL rookies making their first start don't have a great time against the spread, but Anthony Richardson has been better since then, and Anthony Richardson will not be in this game. He is on IR with a shoulder injury, I believe. So Gardner Minshew coming in hot, and I really do like Gardner Minshew. While he doesn't have, the athletic prowess that Anthony Richardson has, this is a guy that's not afraid of, making those tight throws, and also much more polished passer than Anthony Richardson is this far into his NFL career. And we've seen that kind of show this season. We've seen Minshew been playing pretty well because he had to step in for Anthony Richardson, who's already missed a couple games this year. You look at Minshew, completing 68.7% of his passes, 553 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Colts have won all 3 games where you've seen Minshew have to attempt passes. I mean, he did come in that Jaguars-Colts game in week 1, only threw 2 passes in that one. But the rest of the games he's had to show up, he's played well. They beat the Ravens on the road as an outright dog. We've seen him step up last week against the Titans. They were able to win that game. And I just think he's going to step up on the road in Jacksonville against his former team, the Jags. Played his first couple seasons there before going to Philly and then now in Indy. I really do like them. Jonathan Taylor was limited last week. Zach Moss had a day. Now he should be back into more of a bigger workload. But even if Jonathan Taylor isn't, in that big workload, Zach Moss has been terrific. They have that terrific two-headed attack. I really do think the Colts got a good chance at winning this one. I'm not going to take them on the money line. Give me them plus 4.5. Let's hope they show up. It's hard to sweep a divisional foe. We've seen the Colts beat the Jags in recent memory. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened on Sunday. Give me the plus 4.5 for safety. Colts, we're rolling with you. But let's move to my second pick. Like I said, we're having an over-under, and this one's going to be an over. A lot of people probably won't like this one. I'm going Patriots and Raiders, taking the over 41 points, minus 108 on DraftKings. It's a 4:05 start time, and I honestly think this is a sneaky high-scoring game. If you saw last year's game, sneaky high scoring, no one will expect points to be scored in this game, and rightfully so when you look at the 2 offenses. But let's talk about the Patriots and Raiders so far this season, because both teams, if you've been hammering the under, congrats, you're making a lot of money. Both teams have won under in 4 of 5 games so far this year. Last year, these two teams matched up. Final score was 30-24 for the Raiders winning that game. If you remember that, although Patriots fans probably don't want to, that was a game where you believe it was Jacoby Myers, threw it backwards. It was a tie game. You saw the Raiders scoop and score with no time on the clock. That is how the final score ended up. Patriots fans do not want to remember that game, but that's what happened. And it was a high-scoring game. I would not be surprised if this one is a high-scoring game. You get Josh McDaniels going back up against Bill Belichick. There's two teams that have familiarity with each other and two defenses that I really don't think are that great. Patriots defense has been really banged up. You saw Judon is out. Christian Gonzalez out for the year. Both their starting safeties, are injured. Starting cornerback is also questionable. So this team could be coming in here with a banged up defense for a team that's already is not playing great defense. They've allowed 38 and 34 points the last 2 weeks to the Cowboys. Sure, I can understand that. To the Saints, giving up 34 points. That team stinks on offense. That team is not a very good offense. And they got smoked by him. So I really do think that this Raiders offense should be able to score points against the Patriots. Now, last week you saw the Raiders, they put up 17 points against the Packers. They missed a couple field goals. One was blocked, one hit the upright. So they easily could have 23 points. That's against the Packers defense that is pretty solid. This is against the Patriots defense that has really struggled. And Jimmy G should get a healthy Devontae Adams. Now he's a week removed from the injury. Last week on Monday Night Football was a little banged up. But still, I do think that we'll be able to see the Raiders offense score some points. And on the Patriots side, I think this honestly is what it comes down to. Can the Patriots score points? Last 2 weeks, I would say no, because they've combined for a big 3 points these last 2 weeks. Mac Jones has looked terrible, 24 for 43, 260 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's in danger of getting benched. This is basically, he sucks on a Sunday. He's probably not playing next week, so I think he has to play better. And Mac Jones, he can't honestly play worse than he has these last 2 weeks. Like, the defense hasn't showed up for the Patriots, but neither has the offense. And I don't blame the defense. They're seeing that offense go out there, like, they're being put back on the field basically every single time. The Patriots offense cannot get anything going, but I think they're going to be able to do it against the Raiders defense that really I don't think is all that great. Last week, they gave up 13 points to that Packers team. The Packers could have so many more points. Jordan Love missed a ton of throws. There's something I don't think Mac Jones is afraid of doing. It's slinging the ball down the field. He doesn't have the best pass catchers in the world. I'm not going to come out here and say this. It's all Mac Jones' fault. They aren't giving him a lot of help, but I do think that this will be a sneaky high-scoring game. 41 is a very low total. Did open up at 44.5. People have bet it all the way down to 41. I think the books are wise enough. They open it at 44.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends with like 42, 43, 44 points. I really do think this is a higher scoring game than people anticipate. You think about 41 points. That's not really honestly too hard to get to. 24-20. Heck, even one team scoring 30 could happen. I really think this is a close game. Higher scoring game. Both teams should score 20. Give me the Patriots, Raiders. Give me the over 41 points at -108 on DraftKings. I'd play it at 41.5, and that's all you got. Then my third and final pick of the week, before we talk about a couple leans, I'm going to a teaser same game parlay. I'll put it up on the screen and then talk about it. Eagles money line and the under in their game against the Jets, under 47.5. This is -110 on BetMGM. Personally, I play this about -135. If you got to go down to 46.5, you're fine there. Personally, we are 5-2 on these teaser/same game parlays. Let's try to make it 6-2. Now, we were 5-1 going into last week. We did take the Eagles one. They did not score enough points to get to the over, which is why I'm going back to the under. And honestly, I don't mind the full game under at 41.5. I think this is a lower scoring game. The Jets have been a great defense in terms of limiting, not only in general, but limiting that red zone scoring percentage, which we'll talk about in a second. But you look at the Eagles. They're going to lose one day. I just don't think it's on Sunday against the Jets. The Eagles obviously are 5-0. They've had some close calls, winning by 5, 6. They beat the Bucs by 14. Had a good week last week against the Rams, a pretty solid team. So they've won 5 games. I don't anticipate them losing this one. They'll lose eventually. I just don't think it's in New York to the Jets. And look, they've had some high-scoring games this season, but it's going to be tough to score points against the Jets. I mean, this is a Jets team, third best in red zone defense in terms of limiting opposing teams from scoring touchdowns. If they can let the Eagles can march down the field, they can limit them to the field goals, we're going to cash this bet because I don't have a lot of faith in this Jets offense. You look at the Jets on the other side. They are coming into this game 2-3, coming off a win against the Denver Broncos, but majority of their games have been relatively low scoring. And last week, they were able to score a lot of points because, one, the Broncos defense has not been great up until Thursday Night Football. Number two, they're able to run the football all over that team, and it's going to be tough to run the football against Philadelphia, one of the better run defenses in the league. In fact, the Eagles are allowing the fourth fewest rushing yards per attempt in the NFL. When we've seen the Jets offense struggle, well, it's been because they're putting Zach Wilson into 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, and then he's just having a tough time to complete balls down the field. He's not really a big, deep thrower, and it's going to be tough against an Eagles secondary that has played pretty well. Sure, they gave up yards last week to Nakua and Cooper Kupp and Stafford, but still, they were able to limit that team to 13 points. I don't see a big offensive game coming from Zach Wilson and the Jets. He has looked better as of late. I'm happy to see it as a Jets fan, but still don't really think they're in for a big scoring game. This feels like a lower scoring game. Maybe the Jets keep it close, cover the +7, which we saw them do a couple weeks back against the Chiefs, but I really don't think the Jets are going to win this one outright. And so I lean like the Eagles money line, and I like the full game, alt under 47.5, and then -110. That's the sides I want to be on. I think the Eagles move to 6-0. I think this is a lower scoring game, kind of grinded out type game. It's going to be hard to run the football against both these teams, but they're still going to stick to the ground because that's what both these two offenses want to do. Now, finally, hopefully those go 3-0. Let's talk about a couple leans. Last week we went 1-1 on our leans. The Vikings were the one we lost. They had so many chances to get it done. They could not cover the points. These are two I looked at. Buccaneers +3.5 and the Bills -14.5. Now, honestly, Buccaneers would have been an official play, but I sworn it off a couple weeks ago. I will not be fading the Detroit Lions. However, everyone will be on the Detroit Lions in some way or fashion. They'll be on the money line, be on the spread. And Buccaneers coming off a bye week. Wouldn't be surprised if they play spoiler here. I mean, this is a Buccaneers team that has looked decent so far this year. I just don't really want to back Baker Mayfield or fade the Lions. The Lions have been super good. But on the road in Tampa, we'll see. I'm thinking that's an interesting one. I personally would avoid it if you guys are all considering it. And then Bills -14.5. They're going up against the Giants Sunday Night Football. When the Bills win, they win big. They've won 3 times this season by 28, 34, and 28 points. The Giants likely down Daniel Jones. And they got Tyrod Taylor making a revenge game. Good luck, Giants. I won't be watching a single moment of that Sunday Night Football game. Hopefully, the Giants, if they want to keep it close, go for it. These are just leans. I don't track them towards my official record. You guys just are always curious what other games I'm looking at. These are just a couple of the other ones I did consider. But as for our official picks, trying to go 3-0. We got the Colts +4.5. We got the over in the Patriots Raiders game. And we got the Eagles money line and the alt under 47.5. Let's have a weekend. Let's go 3-0, and I will see you guys back again for some more player props video. I will link that on the screen right over here. Go check it out. If you want to see our player props, boom. If you want to go see our long shot parlays, they're on there too. Those videos will both be live on Saturday. So maybe right now they aren't live. They will be live soon on Saturday evening and morning. So, of course, have a great Sunday. Let me know your favorite picks down below. This is Austin. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.